Alright guys, Jungle Bob back. I've got the, still working on this Honda. Hold on, let me flip you around here. Hey guys, Jungle Bob back. Still working on the Honda. As you can see, it's already back together. Unfortunately, my video didn't take of me putting it back together, but you saw how I took it apart, so basically it's just the reverse. And now we're working on the carburetor problem. So I've got the carburetor off. We'll take a look at it here. Actually, let's see, it looked pretty clean when we took the bowl off. Like I said, the this mower it's pretty new, actually, and it was still under warranty, some kind of warranty, and he took it back because it wouldn't drive. The drive wasn't working on it, and they said, unfortunately, that wasn't under the warranty. He bought it at Lowe's. I found a little more out about that. He paid for the extended warranty, but they would not warranty the drive part of it for some reason. I don't know. So, anyway, the carburetor looks good. The bowl looks good. I think the jet's a little stopped up. I tried to poke some wire through it, and it's not going. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take it apart, and I'm going to put it in the ultrasonic cleaner and let it run for about a half hour. And then we're going to put it back on and see what happens. Of course, I'm going to drain all the gas out, what little is in there, and clean out the tank and blow out the fuel lines just to make sure. I believe it came here with no gas in it, and I put my gas in it, so I think it's got good gas for sure. But just to double check, since we're cleaning the carburetor, we're going to go ahead and get all that fuel out of there and clean it up. And then once we start putting this carburetor back on, I'll come back and do another video, or continue this video. Thanks, guys. Now, as you can see, I've got the float out. Here's the needle. It's not going to focus very well. But it looks good. It's not rounded off. It's not got any. So we're going to go ahead and reuse this needle. Took the bowl gasket off. Of course, you got one of the gaskets here. Matter of fact, I'm not even going to soak this bowl. I'm just going to clean it up. It's so nice. I'm not even going to do it. Now, when you take these apart, you take that bowl nut off. There is a little washer or gasket right there. So make sure that's in good shape before you put it back together. But like I said, this is a relatively new lawnmower. So this carburetor looks brand new to me. So I pulled the jet out. I mean, emulsion tube, and we're gonna go over here to the little ultrasonic, letting it heat up now with just a little simple green, and we're gonna drop this puppy in here. We're gonna let that water heat up, and then we'll turn it on and let it run for about 20 minutes or so. I keep this little ultrasonic outside. I've got a 6-liter inside, but I keep this one out here. It's good during the summertime because it gets pretty warm here in Birmingham. So the water stays relatively warm. It doesn't take long for it to heat up. And I keep this one out here because, I do a lot of 2-cycle work, and those carburetors are small, and these, but I've got a 6-liter in case I have to clean something a little bigger. But so I'll get back with you once we've got this cleaned and ready to go back on the lawnmower. Alright guys, so I'm back. I believe we're done with the ultrasonic. We're going to pull that baby out of here. It's going to be kind of hot. I'm kind of used to it, but be careful not to burn yourself. Yep. So from here I'm going to take and rinse this off and spray it with some carb cleaner, blow it out, and then we'll get ready to get it put back on. Okay guys, so we're back. Got the carburetor. It's been through the ultrasonic. It's been rinsed already. Now we're going to just clean it with some carb spray. Get all the film out of it. Spray out this jet. The jet's been reinstalled with the emulsion tube in it. And if you can see, I don't know if you can, we're going to spray it. You can see we got good flow coming up through there now. I like to spray out all the little holes just to be sure. There's one right there. Make sure you get that one good. And just a little light shop air on it. That should be good. We'll get down here on the ground just for the purpose of this video. Now I'm going to try to run this wire up through the jet just to see if I can see it coming through. Make sure we're for sure unclogged, but we did see the carb spray going through there. It's going to be hard to see on the camera, but you can see that. You may not can see that. But if you look in there, kind of hard to see, but you can see my wire. It's going all the way through. There's no resistance hardly at all, so we're going to call that good. Keep on doing that just a little bit, and I might hit it with a little bit more carb spray just to be sure. You should be wearing safety glasses, which I'm not, in case you don't want to get this stuff in your eyes, because it burns like a mother. Now, earlier video I was telling you about these Honda carburetors are hard to put back. A little involved getting it back together, but this is a newer model one. So you notice the studs are coming out. So you got you got this gasket here and the spacer, and the studs are already coming out. On the older models, you had to put the screws back in and try to fit everything back on there, and it was kind of a pain, But all right, so we've already got the gas all drained out. Gas tank is clean. Fuel lines are blown out, and we're going to put this back on. Well, first we're going to put this carburetor back together. So got the old bowl gasket here. We're going to lay that back in there. Oh, and I use brake clean CRC. I've seen some people, they use Lucas oil. I think Henry from Motors and Blowers uses contact cleaner, but it's non-chlorinated, so it's flammable. But this stuff doesn't make these gaskets swell up, especially if you got the Briggs carburetors with the rubber gaskets on it. You spray any kind of like that cheap Walmart stuff on there, it's going to swell those gaskets up and they'll be too big to go back on. But the CRC, it's kind of pricey, but it works good. You don't have to really worry about rubber expanding when you use those. All right, so we got that bowl gasket back in there. Now we're going to put the needle and seat back in, or the needle and the float. So I don't know how I'm going to do this and with one hand. I'm just going to try. But we've already inspected the tip. It looks good. So we're going to slide it back in here. Right, where it's hanging, just like that. And you just have to be kind of gentle with it. Go over it. Make sure you get it in the hole. Get it on down in there. And then you take your pin, start it. It's hard to do with one hand in the camera, but you'll get it started, and it'll line up. It should go real easy, so don't try to force it. You'll know when you hit the sweet spot because it'll slide right on through, like that. So it's good. Then you want to look at your float here. That one looks pretty level, pretty good. So then I'm going to put the bowl back on it. I know, guys, this seems trivial stuff, but just I'm practicing, so we'll put our bowl nut back on. All right, and I'm going to need a 10 millimeter to tighten that up, which I don't have over here with me, so I'll go get that right now. All right. McConaughey, all right, got the 10 millimeter. Just gonna snug this up real good. Hadn't got to be super tight, but tight enough. You'll know when you feel it. Got that on there. Now, before I go to hook up, of course, like I said on this one, it's a lot easier with getting this gasket back on and everything, because you can just slide it right over the studs. Make sure we got it the right way, which it doesn't really, I mean, it's not going to matter because you're not blocking any holes. But it goes, this is the way it goes with this little tab that way. We'll go ahead and slide that back on over the studs here. I don't know if you can see that. Right. That push back on there. And so what I like to do next is just to check for leaks. We'll go ahead and, before I hook up the spring and the arm here, the governor arm, I'm going to just put my fuel line back on here, like so. We'll go ahead and cut this off and take my fuel clamp, which I didn't really need because it's got to cut off. But so now we're going to put some fresh gas in it and let it flow. I'm going to let it sit for probably about 5 minutes or so. Let it fill up the bowl and make sure there's no leaks on that bowl gasket and the carburetor's not flooding itself. All right. Now, I'm not going to fill it all the way up. I'm just going to put enough in there to, so we can do a good test. In case something's wrong and I have to drain it back out again. That should be plenty. And if we don't have any drips or leaks, man, we're moving on to the next step. So, speaking of these little, on the Hondas, they have these little fuel line retaining rings. I hate these. So once I figure out it's not leaking, I'm going to shut the valve off, and I'm going to put a different kind of clamp on here, a fuel line clamp, because I hate these. They're a pain in the butt to get off, and when you do get them off, you booger them up, and you know, you kind of really need to put these on right. You need some ring pliers, but all right. So we're gonna let that sit for a little bit, and I'll come back just make sure we don't have any leaks, and we'll continue on. So after a while, we've looked at this. No gas is leaking. So now I'm gonna hook up the governor arm in the spring, and might give this thing a whirl. See if it'll crank. Next question. No, go ahead. You brought it up. No, we had an event where if you cut that back off. Fraternity had an event. We had this thing. It was an annual thing every year. Don't want to damage this hose any, or you'll get an air leak. Which I may have just damaged it. May have to cut that off a little bit. I got a little clearance, but around the house, and there was a certain amount of points you could accrue. You had a grocery card. So what I like to do is there's two holes on this carburetor. The big hole is where the linkage goes in, and the small hole is where the spring goes. So it's much easier to put the spring in first, and then the linkage. And we're leaking gas everywhere. That's okay. And then you just kind of tilt the carburetor up, get this Z-bend in here. It'll go in, and then kind of work it till you get it where it's sitting just right. And it'll spin around once you got it level again. And try not to stretch this spring any more than you have to. I mean, don't force it. I mean, it'll go back. And when I said I wasn't going to use this fuel filter clamp, I am, because I can't find a good one to put a different kind to put back on there. So you see, I got my, what do we call them? Snap ring pliers. I think I can just slide this on to start with. No. So, got to be careful because it'll spring out of your hands. I guess I should get my smaller ones, but Alright, question number 4. Has there been a product or products you couldn't get during the pandemic that is available now if you find yourself... I guess I need my reverse. I need to reverse it. You can kind of just squeeze it with your hands there. Get that back over there. I'm with you, John. Yeah, every time I go to I see some there, I buy some. Alright, hold on a second. We got, looks like Amazon is bringing me a carburetor for that more over there that had the strip ring gears. So I'll get back to you in a minute. So, we're back. I guess I'm going to use needle nose. Oh, there it goes. Right across the yard. Like I said, this is why I hate these. They're a pain in the butt. Get back on there. But it is what it is. In the post game, yes, this happened. What would you say to Carolina fans who are questioning whether or not it made sense to schedule this game considering the result? We'll get it in a minute. Side, God almighty. If you told me we were going to lose, hell yeah, we wouldn't have played the game. If you told me we were going to beat the Lakers, I'd scared to them. Carolina fans, they're not that dumb. If they are, I got no answer for them. Well, that they actually might be. Yeah. You know what? We're going to stop right here. I have got a clamp somewhere. I'm just going to have to find it. Alright, I'm back. I'm just going to use one of my nice fuel line clamps. And I'm going to use this Icon screwdriver courtesy of Phil Small Engine Repair. Tighten it down.
Certain people that go to certain topics thinking that he is immediately going to be heated about that topic. Yes, absolutely. I actually believe that there are other people that don't even know how to ask the question. They just throw a topic out. They say, cornerbacks.
And that's good. You don't want to go too tight on it, but just enough to snug it because you don't want to puncture the hose. Alright, so be careful this spring. See how it got caught right there on this automatic choke? That's that temperature gauge on these Hondas. But so we got that back. Now, like I said on that other gasket that we put back on, it didn't matter which way it went. But this one against the air breather cover does. You see it's got that hole right there. It needs to line up in this channel and clean all this, blow all this out, because it's important that it gets all the air it can get. So we're just going to slide that back on. Studs. And then we're going to put the air cleaner on. When you put the air cleaner on, you got to get this crankcase vent hose hooked up properly. So I kind of like to just, and there's two sleeves that rest in here. So when you're taking this off, you don't want to lose these two sleeves. So I kind of just get it close, lined up. See, that just pulls right out of the crankcase. And you can put it back in. No big deal. We get down here. You just slide that back in there. Try to remember how it was angled. Sometimes it's just better just to put it back on here and try to guide it back in the crankcase as you're putting it back on. You might have to pull the cover off, this cover, if you can't get it, but usually you can finagle with it enough to get it. There we go. So that's in there. We know that's on there. We'll take and put our nuts back on. We're getting close, fellas. Let's hope it fires up. Tighten these down. I believe these are 10 millimeters. Kind of get them both snug equally before you crank on them. Yeah, just, good firm tightness. They're not going to back off, so, but you don't want to. Too bad. Wipe as much dirt out of here as you can, so you didn't get blown out. Yeah. So we're back together. I guess we'll cut the gas on. And we're going to see if she'll crank. What do y'all think? Y'all think it'll go? I don't know. We're going to find out. Well, alright guys, so we got the air filter and air filter cover back on. I think we're going to call this one done. The Honda HRX 217. Changed the drive belt, put a new recoil on it, and did a carburetor clean. Just for kicks and giggles, or whatever you want to call it, I'm going to try to crank it one more time while I'm holding the camera. It should just pull easily and crank right up. And that, my friends, all this snatching stuff, that's what tears up the recoils to start with. If it doesn't pull, it even says easy start on the cover, but you should be able to just pull it lightly and it should turn right over. But anyway, I appreciate you guys putting up with my trying to learn how to do these videos and everything and following along with me. I'll try to find some better content for the next video. But thank you so much. Jungle Bob out. Please like and subscribe.